Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another Nerds in the Word at the Desk on Thursday. Fingers crossed buffering should be good. So far, right now, we are in the green, so thank you, Solomon, for that concern. Right now, things should be smooth. Should be. But either way, you can rewatch it on YouTube. You can check it out on our podcast here. Thank you, guys who are on the podcast listening in, and hopefully my wonderful voice can be super encouraging and uplifting, but hopefully not making you fall asleep. No, I'm sorry, I had to do it. It was right there. No, guys, thank you for popping in today and joining us for another Nerds in the Word time. Hey, just a reminder, we do have our Walk to Mordor fundraiser still going strong. Would love for you to be a part of that. And by part of that is, like, if you are a person who maybe didn't get to sign up and you're like, oh, Mike, like, I didn't get to sign up. That sucks. Well, that's okay. We are needing people to support this ministry. Our goal is to have $10,000. That's right. That's a lot of zeros. And the $10,000 is to support this ministry, that we can keep on going, that we can keep on sharing the nerdy word, as it were, in connecting that in faith and being able to actually be a light and encouragement to people in really dark times and places. And online can be a super isolated area, but it can also be a great spot where we can develop community. And that's why we have this ministry. That's why we have this Discord community, this online crew that's there to support. But that can only keep on going if we fundraise the funds to keep it going. So please consider donating at qyu.ca/walktomordor. That was thrown in the comments for those of you who are watching the video. Please support one of our walkers. Support this ministry so that we can keep on doing this awesome stuff. So please consider that. Please be a supporter. There's tons of people on here that are connected with that and being heroes. So again, thank you for that. You can donate your support at qyu.ca/walktomordor. That's qyu.ca/walktomordor. Right? Yeah, you heard Solomon. Just do it! Actually, you heard Shia LaBeouf. The sticker that pops in. Just do it! Too excited. Yeah, guys. I hope that you've been having a good week thus far, and that things have been encouraging and supporting. I know this is going to be a bit of a tighter stream. Thank you, Solomon, for making sure I remain hydrated. That's important, because I do a lot of talking. Don't do a whole lot of hydration. Tis good. Tis very good. Yes, Wally, it is me. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate that. I don't know what to say to that. Anyway, guys, you want to grab your phones, grab your bibbles, your good times like that, and we're going to flip on over to Psalm 76. Oh, yeah. Psalm 76. We're now over the halfway point. There's no turning back now, guys. It's getting real. It's getting serious. This is another psalm of Asaph that's being thrown down here, sung to the accompaniment of stringed instruments. Ooh, violin-esque, harp vibes. La da 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 da. Yep, no, don't ask me to. No, we're not doing that right now. Anywho, grab your Bibles, flip on over. Yes, guitar would be good, Wally. Guitar would be a good idea. I don't have my guitar in my office. What is wrong with me? I need to set that up. Anywho, we're going to flip over to Psalm 76. We're going to start chewing on the goodness. It's going to be so good. All right. God is honored in Judah. His name is great in Israel. Jerusalem is where he lives. Mount Zion is his home. There he has broken the fiery arrows of the enemy. Ooh. The shields and swords and weapons of war. Yeesh. That's intense. You are glorious and more majestic than the everlasting mountains. Our boldest enemies have been plundered. They lie before us in the sleep of death. No warrior could lift a hand against us. At the blast of your breath, O God of Jacob, their horses and chariots lay still. No wonder you are greatly feared. Who can stand before you when your anger explodes? Dang. From heaven you sentenced your enemies. The earth trembled and stood silent before you. You stood up to judge those who do evil, O God, and to rescue the oppressed of the earth. Pause for a moment. Human defiance only enhances your glory, for you use it as a weapon. Make vows to the Lord your God, and keep them. Let everyone bring tribute to the Awesome One, for he breaks the pride of princes, and the kings of earth fear him. Dang. Yes, this Mike guy does play guitar. Thank you, Wally, for paying attention to that. Yes, I do. I play guitar, I play a bit of bass. I'm a multifaceted guy. You know, as one does in youth ministry, you got to be able to do lots of different things. And have I done it a lot more recently? No, I played a little bit after my dad's funeral, playing on his old acoustic. So, yeah. A little Wilson tidbit for you, in case you were wondering. All right, back to the psalm, because we're chewing on it. I missed a first break, and it was at the end of verse 3, which kind of makes sense, because this is definitely a sandwich of reflection of God's power, right? And you may have been like, dude, what's with the lion title? Like, what? Lion roar? Kind of stuff like that. And when I was reading the psalm, it kind of reminded me of the song by Brandon Lake, or Elevation Worship. It's Let the Lion Roar. And it's the very idea of like just the power and authority that God has. The standing kind of don't mess with God. He can wreck you if he so chooses to, right? And we talked about that in the past, that, you know, God's got this crazy authority, this crazy capacity to do really what he wants, and we either submit or we get wrecked. And that God's not arbitrary in the fact that like he just does things randomly or just because he's just so happened feeling like doing something good. No, like God is just, and so when he's choosing to do something, it's for the right reason. It's not to be a punk and stuff like that. And so we need to remember that, to reflect on that and go, wow, God, you're amazing. But there is power in who he is. And different times, like Rabbi has brought up the idea of just as the sun is like super powerful and like you can enjoy the sunlight, you can appreciate the light of who he is, but then also realize if you are not sensitive to how powerful he is, you can burn, you can get wrecked and stuff like that. Hello, Rabbi. Wow, ears were tingling kind of vibe. That's kind of funny. Michael Wilson, appreciate that. Okay, so back to the passage in Psalm 76, verses 1 to 3. God is honored in Judah. His name is great in Israel. Jerusalem is where he lives. Mount Zion is his home. There he has broken the fiery arrows of the enemy, the shields and swords and weapons of war. That's funny. Rabbi's throwing down. I heard Rabbi in my sleep and thought, ooh, sounds like a good time. I should wake up and come to the stream. Clearly. I think it's just God just poking and be like, hey, Wilson's on. He might need help. You're the ultimate OT support here and giving some context, love, and support. I know a bit of context. You always throw down some good wisdom there, Rabbi. Appreciate it. I find that interesting. God is honored in Judah. His name is great in Israel. And Judah, like, if if you guys aren't reading your Bibles and connecting some names or titles or stuff like that, so Judah is definitely a part of Israel, but like Judah was the tribe and connection that David was under. Whoa. Look at that. Solomon blessing Rabbi with a subscription loving goodness. Man. Solomon, you're so nice. You're so good. But then it even narrows, right? Like, God is honored in Judah, so in this one specific region. His name is great in Israel. It went from, like, smaller to bigger level. Like, Judah, Israel. But then here we have Jerusalem is where he lives. So this is the city of Jerusalem, the city on the hill. Mount Zion is his home. So we go from the city, now we're getting more centralized into the temple, right? Mount Zion is where the temple is, right? Like it's all part of this like narrowing in. There he has broken the fiery arrows of the enemy, the shield and sword and weapons of war. I love that. There he has broken the fiery arrows of the enemy, the shields and swords and weapons of war. This defense, this idea against a siege warfare is what I kind of picture in my head. I could be wrong. Rabbi could throw it down here and be like, Wilson, wrong tree. Stop barking. But Jero means to see, or you will see, and Salam is a form of peace, but representing complete perfection. So it's more like a completed peace. Interesting. So like a full peace. That's really cool. Full peace is where he lives. Mount Zion is his home. Jerusalem is you will see a completed peace, whereas Salem is you now have completed peace. Okay, so it's like a foreshadowing, future kind of thing like that. Geography, they are both Jerusalem. Yeah. I was aware of them in a geography sense, them being the same place. But that's interesting, the difference in terminology on that one, Rabbi. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. But I just appreciate how this is where, like, God is the one who supplies that peace. He is the one who's the defender. He is the one who stands strong. And again, the Lion of Judah song, kind of stuff like that. Judah in like this defense, this fierceness, this ferocity kind of idea of like just this defender. Like God is a defender. God is the one who is a protector. God is the one who loves us, who takes care of us and sustains us. And in this case, he has broken the fiery arrows of the enemy. Like they come at him and it's like psh, whatever, like toothpicks, kind of stuff like that. The shields and swords and weapons of war. Like he just kind of like discards them. Like just the protection that is over where God is honored. Like that's where the power is. Where reflecting on him and realizing who God is and the strength that he has. Like God is there with him. And that's just so cool. It's a really interesting idea. And that idea kind of gets elaborated from verses 4 to 9 here in the next break. So let's chew on this. You are glorious and more majestic than the everlasting mountains. Okay, so even nature. Our boldest enemies have been plundered. They lie before us in the sleep of death. No warrior could lift a hand against us. At the blast of your breath, O God of Jacob, their horses and chariots lay still. Okay, I'm noticing some similar languages here. So, Solomon's already getting excited. Ooh, plunder, right, Solomon? It's like, dang. This kind of, like, at least the plunder part definitely sounds like Egypt. And I think, like, Egypt in the case of after the plagues have been hit, after, like, the dust has settled in a way that, like, God has thrown down all the plagues. It talks about how when the Israelites left Egypt, it was like as if they plundered Egypt of its wealth, of its gold, of like its riches, because they just wanted them out of there. They just want, like, go, like, we don't want you here anymore, kind of stuff like that. And that it's like it was God that brought that plundering, right? That's why our boldest enemies have been plundered. They lie before us in the sleep of death, which also has kind of that idea of just like sheer power that God has, right? The authority. Like this was in the midst of them losing their firstborn children. No warrior could lift a hand against us. Well, who could lift a hand against plagues, against natural forces that God is the one who has power over, that he is the one who controls, and he is the one who is able to administer that kind of like justice, but also like that kind of punishment on an enemy, right? Like that's kind of intense here. And even verse 6, at the blast of your breath, O God of Jacob, their horses and chariots lay still. That's kind of similar. That's similar language to the poem that happens at the end of the Red Sea in Exodus, where it was like from the blast of his nostrils, he parts the Red Sea, right? Like it's being able to distort chaos. He is the one who just has power and authority in his breath. And here, this blast of breath is their horses and chariots lay still. They're destroyed. They're wrecked. They can't do anything. So this is, like, I see this part, at least from 4 to 6, is kind of like almost a reflection of Exodus and the sheer might of God that he has as a defender of Israel. You are glorious and more majestic than the everlasting mountains. That I'm not too sure. I could be jumping in on this. In the Greek version, in the Hebrew, reads, then mountains filled with beasts of prey, which is interesting. Like, mountains filled with beasts of prey, like the authority. I don't know. I'm trying to chew on that, but I kind of see like how God's just authority. Again, like mountains are very higher level. It's where like God has met, specifically like thinking about Moses and Sinai. Like he's more glorious, more majestic than even these mountains. Like being in the desert with Mount Sinai and then seeing the power of God would just be absolutely nuts. And that could be related to before and after the whole Exodus from Egypt, right? God meets Moses on top of Sinai before he goes to Egypt, and then after he went to Egypt and they come back from there. Rabbi's throwing it down. There's a midrash of how Nimrod died. He challenged God to a battle. He told God to create his best champions and go to war with Nimrod. If Nimrod won, then God would stop disciplining people and just let them live. Nimrod was given 6 months to prepare for battle. He gathered millions of the best soldiers, giants of his day. They went to an open field, waiting to see what God's champions would be. A loud buzzing was heard. All swords and arrows could do nothing. They were surrounded by a swarm of gnats. Oh my word. That's an interesting read, a different take. And the gnats went into their noses and mouths and all their cavities and started to eat them from the... Oh, my goodness. Huh. Okay. That started getting gross. Oh, man, Rabbi. Why'd you... Oh, man. Ugh. But the bravest of men could not lift a hand. Oh, so, okay. Okay. That makes a little bit more of a dive on that one. That's... Oh, guys, now my nose is uncomfortable. I'm gonna have my coffee now. Stop any potential gnat problems. No gnats going in my mouth, thank you. That's disgusting. And you thought me dipping stuff in my coffee was gross, Rabbi. I had to do it, didn't you? Oh. Okay, back to the psalm here, where we're avoiding that awkwardness. All right. Psalm 76, verse 7. No wonder you are greatly feared. Who can stand before you when your anger explodes? Right? From heaven you sentenced your enemies. The earth trembled and stood silent before you. You stood up to judge those who do evil, O God, and rescue the oppressed of the earth. Okay. Again, this is like a power demonstration here. The reminder of different things that God is able to do. Like, no wonder you are greatly feared. Who can stand before you when your anger explodes? Like, thinking about just the sheer judgment that was brought down in Egypt, there's no way that people could handle that. Like, he just wrecked. Oh, Rabbi's throwing down. Imagine being covered in gold armor and being 9 to 12 feet tall. That's nuts. With massive swords and shields, only to be humbled by a gnat in your nose that you couldn't do anything about. That's disgusting. Why? Yeah, that would suck. Yeah. The gnat is mightier than the sword. That was supposed to be a good joke. That didn't work. I'm sorry. We'll cut that out next time. All right. Solomon, I appreciate that. Sounds like Nimrod could have done with some bug spray, right? Too bad bug spray wasn't around at that point. That kind of sucks. But who can stand before you when your anger explodes? Like, when God decides he's going to handle something, it's not a good moment, right? From heaven you sentence your enemies. The earth trembled and stood silent before you, which I find visually is just beautiful, right? Like, God in heaven could, like, legitimately just say, like, and he does. He just says things from where he's at, his point of strength and safety and whatnot. And, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, you wreck, right? Like, you're going to get wrecked. Don't mess with it. Even to the point the earth trembled and stood silent before you. Like, the very foundations, the earth, are just like, we're not going there. We're not doing that. You done brought it on yourself. That's awkward. Oh my goodness, Rabbi. Yeah, some bug off could have been useful. Get it today at your local Walmart for $3.99. Taxes may apply. Offer valid only where applicable. We are not sponsored by Walmart. Awkward moment. All right. Okay, here we go, though. I love this. You stand up to judge those who do evil, O God, and to rescue the oppressed of the earth. So when God steps into justice, into judgment, there's often two parties involved. And I appreciate the kind of the balanced perspective that gets thrown into here, right? Like, why does God step in? God isn't throwing just irate just because he can. He's not a God who just freaks out. He's very tactful. He's thinking and stuff like that. And here we have, you stand up to judge those who do evil, O God, and to rescue the oppressed of the earth. And to rescue the oppressed. His heart is that it's being able to rescue those who are oppressed. That's why he's angry in the first place, is that there's this power struggle that shouldn't be happening. There's this peace that should be happening, this humility that should be happening, and it's not. And then that negatively affects not just our relationship with him, which is a big deal. I'm not saying that's not, but it affects the people around us. And because of that, then, like, God has to step in and be the adjudicator of justice. He's the one who is sound and fair, and he is able to step in with the proper perspective, not with a selfish intent, but for intent to be fair to all parties. Does that make sense? God's there to help. And so then, of course, we have this break. So we are seeing God's authority, his power against enemies, right? Like the powers of nature. We've seen that in the mountains. Even the earth is like trembling and working on that. Our boldest enemies are plundered. No warrior could lift a hand. The very power and destructive force that God can have over his enemies. Yeah, who can stand before you? And it's like a reversal, like who lies still? Like who could stand before you? You can't. Your enemies lie asleep. Can't lift a finger. Those who judge, you stand up to judge those who do evil, O God, and rescue the oppressed from the earth. No wonder why, like, you're glorious, more majestic than the ever. Like, you are the God that's in control of everything. You're the one who guides everything. You are our sustainer. You are our protector. You're the one who brings justice and brings rescue. It's beautiful. So then the last 3 verses here. Last 3 verses. We were working on the sandwich. The greatness of God, that he's our defender. How powerful is he? And what he does is the meat, the meaty part, the insides, the goodness of the sandwich. Now we're looking at the other bun. Human defiance only enhances your glory, for you use it as a weapon. Human defiance, guys, like, that's nuts. Okay, see you in a bit, Rabbi. Human defiance only enhances your glory, for you use it as a weapon. Like, the very thing that just kind of like, God, we can look at how awesome I am. Look at how great I am. Look at how powerful I am. And God goes, I'm going to flip that on your head. You're going to feel that one. Right? And I think specifically Nebuchadnezzar, who looked out in his kingdom and he was marveled, he was blown away at just how he's just like, I've got the biggest kingdom. I am Boss Hoss Magos with extra sauce. And God goes, okay, time for a lesson in humility. Dude goes insane for 7 years thinking he's like a cow eating grass, buck naked. Awkward moment. And after 7 years, it was a voice from heaven, just like, okay. It was like clarity, just like, ah, and he's like, whoa. Yo, that God dude, he is definitely worthy of praise. I'm lowly. I'm nada. I am zip zero zilch rien, as the French would say. Gonzo. Nil is another fun one. Like, it's the power of God. He will use your own hubris against you, which is ironic, but also amazing judgment all at the same time. And it just enhances how amazing God is, right? Like, when God does that to Nebuchadnezzar, like, whoa, okay, yeah, mess up. Woo, hubris. Oh, wow, Solomon. Wow. But I appreciate that because, like, in the previous verse, in verse 3, there he has broken the fiery arrows of the enemy, the shields, the swords, and weapons of war. Usually people are a little bit proud of themselves when they build up a massive army or have massive resources and are just like, look at how boss I am. Look at how awesome I can, like, I'll just railroad you. And God goes, that's cute. Like, you can't do anything. He breaks that stuff. Human defiance only enhances his glory, for you use it as a weapon. The very defiance is the turntable, the very thing that stabs him back and go, oh shoot, that sucked. Verse 11, make vows to the Lord your God and keep them. Let everyone bring tribute to the awesome one. I find that interesting that verse 11 kind of connects to verse 2, because Jerusalem, the holy city, right, is where he lives, and Mount Zion is his home, like the temple. This is where he's residing, and yet here we're focusing on 11. Make vows to the Lord your God and keep them. Let everyone bring tribute to the awesome one. a reminder that we need to stay connected with him. Not just as a security reason, but like legitimately, that's the heart of what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to worship God. We're supposed to respect him. We need to honor him. So make vows to the Lord your God and keep them. Let everyone bring tribute to the awesome one. Meet him on his mountaintop. Go there. Take time. Reflect, praise, and appreciate him. For he breaks the pride of princes, and the kings of the earth fear him. Which, again, I find it interesting that God is honored in Judah. Judah is the king line of Israel. It's where the scepter prophecy came into effect, is in Judah. His name is great in Israel. The kings of the earth will fear him. Going from he's the pride of princes, and the kings of the world will fear him. You want to talk about real authority, you want to talk about real kingship, it is God who decides that. And what line he decides he's going to get connected with, that's the one it's going to be. So you all get humbled. Because he's the true king. He's the true authority. Yes, it's housed in this area, but really, ultimately, it's God who brings that authority, period. He is king. He is ruler. He is defender. He is justice. Yeah, humble pie. 100% Solomon. I'm getting hungry too now. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. So, what's our takeaway off of Psalm 76 here? Because we've covered a lot here. We've covered the king and authority of God. We've talked about his power in defeating the unjust, the evil, the corrupt. We've talked about how he rescues us. We talked about how the earth itself cannot handle his super awesome, crazy goodness. So really, we need to chew on this, okay, guys? This is where I think previously we were looking at how God, I need you to come and save me. How you are the one who brings justice. How you are the one who brings authority. And are we listening to that? Are we working with him on that? Where I think we need to chew on here. And thank you for the stake images, Solomon. Yes, the stakes are high. They are high because we need to think about how does this have impact past just what we've only read here. Oh, yeah, stretch is good. Oh, that's good stretching. Where we need to sit on this is that are you making him authority in your life? Are you making him the king of your life? Realizing which side you are on. And we talked about that last time. We talked about which side would you rather be on. Do you want to be in front of God facing his judgment, or beside God seeing his power and being in awe of it? Not like, oh shoot, I'm gonna die in awe, but like in awe of like, wow, he does have authority. He does rule with justice. And we do that by spending time with him and not trying to earn our insurance, so to speak. I'm not saying that, guys, because if you're doing it for the sake of insurance, you're not really having a relationship with him. And really, Matthew 25 talks about how we need to have a relationship with him. We need to be connected with him. And we do that by doing the things he would do. We love the way he would love. And respond the way he would respond. So guys, here's my challenge for you. My challenge for you is this. How do you put God as king in your life? Like how are you taking priority in meeting with him? Are you taking priority in giving things to him? And maybe you need a visual of like something that you would typically make as your main priority and put a crown and put like God and then like work that out as like, does this reflect God? Does this honor God? maybe it's something that you've lost the awe of God, right? Like this was a ton of like how God showed up in different ways and showed off his power and his awe. Maybe you need to go out for a walk, maybe even a slow walk. Solomon, a slow walk's good too. But a walk to observe just his power in nature, his authority and his craftsmanship and what he's done. Maybe you need to be writing on how God has shown up. Or maybe you just need to reflect, do I feel like God has shown up? Maybe you need to process with a friend who knows you and knows God's word and is like, just share and go like, I don't know how God has shown up in my life. I don't see how it's gone. And have an honest conversation on that. Because sometimes we need our own head check. We need to rework some stuff for ourselves too. And that's important. But my encouragement is refine the awe of God. Be reminded of how he's shown up. And that's where even reading the Old Testament reminding ourselves of like, wow, God, you showed up this way. God, you helped this way. You did this thing. When we work through that, man, that can make a difference. Anywho, guys, we're going to pray. It's that time. So if you got a prayer request, please throw it on over there. That one. That spot there. I'm always reversed in my head. Throw it there. In the chat, for those of you who can see, and for those of you who are listening via podcast, feel free to add it to the comments. We do check that out. We do pray for that. And so, yeah. Oh, and Rabbi's finally back when it comes time to prayer. So, yeah, if you want to throw down prayer, go for it. I'm going to ask for prayer for our Walk to Mordor, for funds coming in and getting support that we need to keep this ministry going, to be able to keep on sharing God's word and chewing on this. Rabbi, so short, where's the 24-hour study stream? Yo, that would actually be kind of nuts. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, I got a lunch to attend as Wally's throwing down, and Wally's probably getting his walk on right now to get over there. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out another time, but that'd be kind of interesting and stuff like that. Anywho, guys, I'm just going to pray real quick here. Father God, I thank you for this time where we've been able to read Psalm 76 and really see your power. How you are the defending lion. How you are powerful. You are strong. You're a force to be... Well, you are not a force to be reckoned with. Like, don't even try. God, I thank you that you are supremely powerful. But help us to remember to be connected with you. And not just connected for the sake of insurance, but for the sake of... We want to be connected to you. We want to be close to you. The very idea that we can be close to you is just absolutely nuts. Help us to focus on that and to make that our blessing, but so that we can stand and be in awe of you, blown away by your power and your authority. God, I pray for rest, for peace and strength for Solomon, for his body throughout this chemo treatment brutalness that's been going on. Pray for peace and strength with him taking care of his parents, loving on them. Give him wisdom, give him strength in the midst of that. Help him to get his energy up when he needs to, but also to rest when he needs to. God, help me to be able to rest. Help me to be able to take time in you and to fall in your arms, as there's been just a lot that's been going on, and to be at peace and to have your peace. God, I pray for this Walk to Mordor, that you would continue to be with these awesome walkers like Wally, and a whole bunch of other crew that are walking and raising funds for this ministry. Pray that we would meet our goal, that we would meet not just our walk goal, our financial goal, our $10,000 goal. And that we'd be able to give you the praise and glory for that, that we'd be able to have rest. And our fundraisers that are coming up later throughout the year would be then just being able to support more, to give us more opportunity to do other things and to bless other people, just as you have blessed us, so that we can bless others. Be with us as we go on out, and help us to reflect you and honor you in all that we do. We ask this in your name. Amen. All right, crew. Well, that was our stream. I know it was short and tight and to the point. Thursdays tend to be that way. So I'll try and get on it earlier next time, but stuff like that. Yeah. Feel free. Join the Discord crew. We have lots of ways to check that out. The easiest way is to go on our socials at GW Nerds. That's on Facebook and that's on Instagram. And each one of those, if you go to our homepage, there's a Linktree account there, or a Linktree link. And that shows everything that we do, all the craziness, all the different ways to get involved, to check out our content, and to learn and grow and stuff like that. Be sure to jump in, because there's an awesome community that would love to have you there, that wants to support you, to be an encouragement to you, praying for you, if you want prayer for that too. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for being awesome. Thanks for being you. Thanks for sitting with us in Psalm 76. Be excited for Psalm 77 to come. Take it easy.